Welcome back. In this session, we are continuing with current risk management, focusing on current swaps. You remember that in our previous lectures, we did discuss internal hedging techniques. We also discussed external hedging techniques. On external hedging techniques, we've already discussed 4 of the techniques which we could use. That's for today. Let's delve into swaps. So a swap is an arrangement where 2 entities will enter into an agreement to exchange given amounts of currency on specified dates as well as on a fixed exchange rate. The core objective is to avoid exposure on exchange rate movements. This means, therefore, that if the exchange rate increases or if the exchange rate decreases, none of these will affect your overall price. An example will assist us to see how this works. BMT is a US company which has obtained a 3-year contract in South Africa. They need to invest 1,600,000 rand, which is equivalent to $100,000 for that date. This project is expected to earn a profit of 400,000 rand. At the end of the project, they will transfer the funds from the project back to the United States as they expect to expand some of their US development projects. Convert the gain into dollars and show the net amount repatriated to the United States. Now, what we see here is that at the beginning of the project, the company is supposed to transfer 1,600,000 rand. Since we're already given the amount in dollar terms, we see that the amount is $100,000. It is clear, therefore, that 16 rand, it is equivalent to $1. In a world where we don't have exchange rate, this is what will happen after 3 years. The company will still have 1.6 million each invested, but it will also have made 400,000 profit. Therefore, the 400,000 profit is added to their original amount. Therefore, when they go back, they'll be having 2 million rand. Because this is an American company, they have to change this money back to the United States dollar. Since the exchange rate is 16, we can say the profit is 400,000 divided by 16, and by calculating that, I see that their profit, it is $25,000. This is the question we were asked on this question: calculate their profits. Once you have the gain, show us how much they'll take back home. So they'll go back with the original amount and the profit. They'll go back home with $125,000. Please note that the $125,000, we could simply calculate it by taking 2 million and divide it by the exchange rate of 16. So 2 million divided by 16, it gives us $125,000. On the second example now, we are given the same information, but this time around, there is a change in exchange rate. To calculate the actual rate, we are provided the item in blue there. Interest rates are now 4% in the United States and 9% in South Africa. When I'm given interest rate like that, I can use the interest rate parity theory. If I use the interest parity theory, it will allow me to calculate the future exchange rate. We know that under the interest parity theory, the spot rate, the future rate is found by taking the spot, and you multiply the spot by 1 plus the rate, in this case the interest rate. You raise this number to the number of years. The interest rate there at the top should be the variable base rate. Then we divide it by 1 plus the interest rate, but this time around in the base current, and this number should be multiplied or should be raised to the power n. Please note that RV means the interest rate in the variable current, and RB means the interest rate in the base current. In this case, the base current is the one with the 1. Actually, all times, the one with the current with the 1 is called the base rate. So we said our exchange rate was $1 is equal to 16 rand. The one will find it on the dollar, therefore the dollar, it is our base currency. When I calculate my spot rate, I will take my variable rate here, which is given as 16. I multiply it by 1 plus the interest rate in the variable currency, which appears to be South Africa. The interest rate in the variable currency here, it is at 9%, so I can add 0.09. This number must be raised to the number of years. The number of years here is 3, so I raise it to the power n. I divide the answer I get by 1 plus my interest rate in the base currency. The base currency in the United States, we have 4% there, or 0.04. This number is raised again to the power 3. Therefore, the exchange rate after 3 years is 15 multiplied by 1.09 to the power 3 divided by 1.04 to the power 3 as well. My final answer I get is 18 Rand 42 cents. So after 3 years, the exchange rate is changed. We know that it started at 16, but after 3 years, it is now 18 Rand 42. You can see here that the rand is lost value. You now need more rand. In year 3, you need more rand than you needed in year 0. To convert the amount we have, we can now need to convert the profit made. We convert it, and we can also convert the amount transferred back to the United States at the exchange rate. You will see here that if you calculate the 2 million, the profit first, 400,000 divided by 18.42, you have made a profit of 21,760. The profit has gone down. In fact, because the 100,000 is also the 1,600,000, which is part of the 2 million there, it is also exchanged back to the United States in 3rd year. We'll divide it again at the new rate, which is 1842. 1,600,000 divided by 18.42. This gives me 86,862. If I add these two amounts, I would see that to the United States, they will repatriate a total of 108,578. You would see here that at the end, the company has suffered. Their $100,000 is now worth 86,000 only. Their profit we calculate as 25,000. It has been reduced to only 21,000. And as a result, they would have 8,000. Please know that you could calculate that 8,000 by simply dividing 2 million over 18.42. It will give you the same amount. Right. So we see that if you don't use the swap, then you are going to receive less money. Earlier on, in our previous slide, we did see that you are going to repatriate $125,000. That is if there was no exchange rate. The only problem we have that exchange rates change, and because they change, you end up taking back 180,000. You have suffered a loss here because of exchange rate movement. Now, to deal with that, we then enter into swaps. In this question, we were told that this particular company, it negotiated a swap with its bank, ABSA. Now, let's see that if we do use the swap, what will happen? So we're given the same question, and we're told that BMT negotiated with its bank ABSA for a swap for the capital outlay at $60 per dollar. It's very important to note here that the swap is only negotiated for the capital outlay because this is the amount which is exchanged at the beginning. As a result, the same amount must be exchanged at the end. Now, on the day 0, when the contract is starting, BMT, it will transfer $100,000 to the bank ABSA. So BMT, it will pay $100,000. In return, BMT, it will be given 1,600,000 Rand. Now that BMT has got the money to invest in South Africa, it will invest and make its profit until the end of year 3. At the end of year 3, BMT will be having 2 million Rand. the initial capital outlay plus the profit made. Now, BMT has got a swap arrangement with the bank. So under the swap arrangement with the bank, they will pay 1,600,000. They will pay back. When they pay back the bank 1,600,000, BMT, it will receive $100,000. In other words, at the beginning, BMT transferred the money to the bank. But now the bank is returning BMT their original money. BMT did not suffer anything. It still is $100,000. On the same manner, the bank, it gave 1.6 million to BMT. Now, bank is giving back its 1.6 million. No one has suffered. Please note that ABSA is a South African company. So ABSA is not affected directly by the change of 1.6 million rand. If 1,600,000 was supposed to pay 50 employees, it's possible they will still be paying the same amount, assuming there is no inflation, only interest change. In the same manner, BMT, it will have $100,000 at the beginning of year 0. It is still having 100,000 at the end of the period. Now, you will see here that only 400,000 is now left with BMT because the 1.6 million they've retained it. The exchange rate exposure is going to be incurred on the 400,000. Therefore, if I want to see how much will BMT repatriate back to the United States, I'll convert the 400,000 at the exchange rate of 18 Rand 42. In this case, 400,000 divided by 18.42, it will give us a profit, a US dollar profit of 21,760. So how much will BMT repatriate? BMT, it will be given back 800,000 by the bank. Then it will exchange its profit into 21,716. So I go and add my profit to the capital outlay. This means that the company will still be having 121,716. Now, let's evaluate the impact of these elements if they do use the swap and if they don't use the swap. We know that without using the swap, they received much less amount. I copied that on the previous slide, but I can just summarize it here. We know that without the swap, they had 2 million rand, and they changed it at 18 Rand 42. It means that they got 108,000. 108,578. This is without swap. With the swap, after arranging to swap, they got their $100,000 according to the swap. We also saw that because they exchanged the 400,000 only in the current exchange rate of 1842, they got 21,716. They went home with the repatriated 121,716. So the swap protected them here. They are able to make money. Correctly speaking, the swap protected them from losing money. What happened here on the first case, the 1.6 million, which they put at the beginning, it was also changed at 1842. Therefore, 1,600,000 divided by 1842, it was going to give them only 86,862. So a swap has protected them, they still get the 100,000. The swap saved them the difference there. So the benefit of swap is equals to 100,000 minus 86,000, which is 13,138. You can also find the value of the swap by just comparing these two figures. 120,1716 minus 108,578. Thus, a swap is a powerful tool when you're dealing with a long-term project and you need to protect your money. In that case, you know that with a swap, you protect only the capital outlay, but not the interest or the return. The 400,000, you could protect it by using other derivative instruments, for example, forward contracts, for example, a futures, for example, an options. With this, it means we're done with our swaps. Now I leave you to go and do some practice questions. I leave you to go and apply this at work. Looking forward to meet you in the next lecture. Thank you.